There are 6 stages of clay. First one is called slip. It's watered down clay that can be used as a pottery glue. The second one is called plastic. That's clay that you can easily mold and model. It's pretty soft. There's leather hard clay. That's clay that's somewhat dry, but it's really good for carving with tools. The fourth one is called bone dry, clay that's dry and ready to be fired. It's very fragile, and sometimes it's called greenware. The fifth one is bisqueware. That has been fired already. Clay that's been fired once in a kiln, and it can never turn back into wet clay. And sixth is glazeware. Clay that has been fired again with glaze. Boys and girls, you will receive a piece of clay in a slab that is really workable called the plastic stage. Alright, boys and girls, I'm going to teach you how to attach clay to other pieces of clay. I'm going to show you how you score clay. That means scratch a clay piece and a clay surface with a tool. So we're going to be scoring. You're going to learn how to use slip. You slip on with your finger or a little stick, or maybe even a little bitty Q-tip, and you just use a little bit on each piece. Slip is basically clay glue. It's dried up old clay and water. And you're going to press or compress. You're going to stick the clay piece onto the surface where you want to attach it, and you're going to press till it starts to stick. All right, let me show you how we're going to do this. Here is a list of ceramics vocabulary words that we can refer back to. Boys and girls, remember how to join clay together. Number 1, you score. That means you scratch the surface. Number 2, you add the slip, which is the glue for clay. Number 3, you press or stick it down. Or compress it, push it down. And number 4, you smooth it out. Take off any little lumps and bumps and smooth it out with your finger. And that is how you join 2 pieces of clay. Hello, boys and girls. We are going to be creating a mushroom from a slab of clay. A slab is actually a rolled piece of clay that is even. This is actually a 1/4 inch piece of clay. These are some scraps I have. I can show you a larger piece of clay here that's rolled into a slab. Okay, today we're going to be working on these charming little mushrooms and giving them a little character, a little face. We need the base of the mushroom and the cap, the top. And I'm going to be using these wonderful little pieces of scrap. And you can see little pieces of this clay fall off, and I'm going to toss it into this strange concoction I have here of clay and water. And what I'm trying to make here is something called slurry or slip. This one's actually slurry. Slip is a lot nicer than this. Slurry is this mushy consistency in clay, and potters and sculptors use this for glue. It's like glue. It's clay glue, basically. And I'm going to let that soak for a while. So, boys and girls, how am I going to make a mushroom from these little scraps? Well, first, I think I'm going to save this piece, and you'll be getting a nicer piece of clay. I'm just trying to use my scraps. This is going to be the cap, the top, kind of circular shape. And I do have a circular cookie cutter that I could just cut this out. And this is sort of a nice cap. I don't want it to be too perfect. I think I'm going to take an I may give you a little plastic knife or a pencil, and you can kind of redraw the shape of your top of your mushroom. And I'm tossing some of these scrap pieces into my slurry mixture so it can get really soft. So it's my glue. And here's, this one's ripping apart. I'm going to try to pull these two pieces in the back together just by making these little cuts to pull it together. All right, I like the top of this one. Oh, I don't think that's going to stay. Here we go. And so this is going to be the top of my mushroom. And I think I'm just going to use one of these scraps, maybe this one, for the bottom. So this is the cap and this is the bottom. Nice. And I think what I'm going to do is just going to redraw these lines with my pencil, and it cuts right into it. Cuts right into it. I'm going to smooth out the edges, smooth out the bottom. Maybe I'll curve the bottom. You decide how you want the bottom of your mushroom to look. And this piece is going to be connected very simply to the other one. So here's the bottom of the mushroom. And the cap. Now I think I want to make it dip down a little bit. Just did a little bit of a different shape for fun. There we go, I kind of like that. Here's the cap of the mushroom. Just by making a couple slices, I threw my scraps inside my slurry. It's actually making noises because it's trying to suck in all that water into that old clay. You never have to throw out clay, you could always reuse it. All right, so boys and girls, I've got the cap and the bottom part of my mushroom. Now what I want to do is I'm going to connect these two pieces. I can't just press them together. They will fall apart. You can see that they're falling apart. So what I need to do is I need to overlap a little bit, and I'm going to draw a really light line where I want to place this, move this over, and can you see this is going to be underneath. This is where the two pieces connect. So what I need to do is I need to make these little cuts right here. And then I have to flip this over and make cuts here too. These are where the two pieces are going to connect. And I have to make these little cuts so my slurry can sit inside these cuts and sit inside these cuts and act like glue. So I need to find a nice piece of slurry. Here we go. That one's too hard. I will give you really nice slurry that almost looks like mud. Here we go. I think that's pretty good. You can hear my cat crying. And I'm going to pick it up with my knife, and I'm going to go right to where my cuts are made, and I'm going to put my slurry in here, and I'm going to put a little more. Okay, and I don't want to have too much because it'll ooze out all over the place. So now that there's slurry here and there's slurry there, I'm going to press them together. Give them a good press. And you're going to see some of it sort of squeeze out. And now I'm going to smooth that out. And those two pieces should connect. I've pretty much glued these two pieces together. And I'm going to pull this off. Let's look at the back. Oh yeah, that's a nice mushy mess. I could also pull them together again like this with a little cut on the back. And those two pieces are stuck together. Doesn't look very good on the back, but I can see that I've pulled them together. This side should stay clean. And now I have 2 pieces of clay, 2 slabs of clay that are connected properly. And what I would like to do is I'd like to put a little face on this guy. Maybe a nose, 2 eyes. Maybe he's a little sad. I don't know. You don't have to make yours sad. It looks like he's about to talk. I'm going to turn this over or use a different tool to put some cheeks on it. And I'm going to draw the bottom of this mushroom. This mushroom looks crazy. Looks cross-eyed. Here we go. Maybe he's got eyelashes here and here. And I'd like to make some dots or something on mine. Here we go. 1, 2. Don't push it all the way through. You don't want to break up your mushroom cap. And here's my little mushroom. All right, boys and girls, enjoy yourselves. We can put, I actually probably will help you with this because I'm going to make sure they're centered. We may put a hole in the top so that we can hang them up. Thank you, boys and girls.